All right, good evening, everyone. It's Sunday, the 23rd of June, and let's see the market expectation for this coming week. So this is the XY, and last week I called out that I was expecting to see price push up on the weekly candle for the DXY. On the weekly side, we can see that price is obviously in a bullish run currently. We had price. Let me scroll down a little. We had price come down here. It came up, dropped down, came up, dropped down, came up here. So we have a break of market structure over here. Price comes down, fails to break this, and then it begins to make a slow climb to the top again, right? Uh, Last week I explained why I was expecting price to push up from this level, and I will just show you again, which is right because of how price was reacting multiple times whenever I entered that zone. So last week I expected price to go up, and as you can see, price pushed up last week. Now, one or two things could happen this coming week. We could see price do something like this, enter and push down and then come back up here. Why? Because over here, this is a monthly fair value gap. So we are approaching a higher time frame key zone. All right, we're approaching a higher time frame key zone. So if you look at the daily on the daily, you can see that it just barely touched it. So price could do one of two things. It could just touch this higher time frame key zone. We're back to the weekly. It could touch this higher time frame key zone, which is the monthly fair value gap, and drop. And this is one of the very important reasons to always do top down analysis, because on the 5 minutes you don't know what is the zone you are actually entering into. So this was the first scenario that could happen. The second scenario that we could have happen is price could just push up here and enter, right? Price could just push up, take out, price could just push up, take out the weekly buy side liquidity, drop down, and then keep going up again. This this does not necessarily have to happen within the entire week. But what I'm saying is that I'm expecting next week to deliver bullish prices. But if it does not deliver a bullish price tomorrow, I would not be surprised. But if it does deliver a bullish price next week, sorry, if it doesn't deliver a bullish price next week, I will not be surprised. If it does deliver a bullish price next week, what would be my expectation? I was expecting it to take out the weekly buy side liquidity. However, I'm just running you guys through how I'm thinking about some of these things. However, looking at how price has reacted in this month of June, mind you, we are in the last week of June. This is the last week of June. So anything that happens this week is going to be what closes the candle. What I am personally expecting is, give me a second, let me show this again. I want the chart I just all right. What I'm personally expecting is something like this to happen. Either either this or this, where it might take it out, but it will close below the weekly buy side. That is actually my expectation. What I'm hoping for is that it will take out the weekly buy side, but it will close below for the end of the week. Let me see how we have the news laid out for next week. It's very one of the reasons why it's very important to always look at the news for the next week is that it allows you to see the most probable places where price is going to move. Why? Or the most probable times where price is going to move. Why? Because a lot of times the market uses the news as drivers towards your technical analysis. So you already have your analysis laid out for the week, right? But you can use the price to see exactly how it's going to form, because remember, price does not go in a straight line. So right from looking at this, I'm not expecting a lot of news tomorrow, but I will definitely be on the market scouting for opportunities. Tuesday, we have one red folder news. So that could be some nice movement. Wednesday, we don't have any red folder news. Then we have Thursday and Friday. A lot of news on Thursday and Friday. So you can see that a bulk of the market movement might be allocated to Thursday and Friday. But personally, for me, like I said, what I'm expecting is that price is going to push up, but I would not expect price to close above the weekly buy side. If it does, that's beautiful, but I don't personally expect it to close above it. I'll expect next month to be the real close above that, and it might push with some real velocity. If it does, then I'll be looking for the monthly buy side liquidity to be taken out, and then the fair value gap that is there. But these are very long term scenarios. It may take the entire year for it to even play out all the way to here. Why? Because we are looking at the weekly time frame. Let's go to our daily charts. First, let me clear this off on the week. Okay, let me leave down the weekly. But let me go to the daily charts. And on the daily, we can see price on the daily we can see price uh came up, has pushed up and closed above this. So this confirms a bullish trend. But on the daily, what am I expecting? Given the news, given the way the news has been distributed, I'm expecting price to either do this and keep going up. So it might come to touch that fair value gap or interact with this particular order block, this one, right? Is the largest down close candle leading up to the move, the big move. So I like this one, and it's in confluence with the fair value gap. So we might see price do that and then push up to there and go back to the upside. That's what I'm looking at for this week. But clearly, you can see based off everything I'm saying, I am very bullish, right? My general expectation is bullish. I would not really be looking for sales. Rather, I'll be looking for key important zones that I would like to buy from. So I'll be looking for areas that when the price goes down towards that area, I would like to scalp. Now, this is a very probable scenario where price could go down to the fair value gap and then begin to push up. So even though I'll be on the market looking to buy, I'll be very, very vigilant to see how exactly the market is reacting before I buy, because I know that price just closed above the daily buy side liquidity that was resting just above the zone. Now, anytime that happens, you would most likely see price pull back a bit. All right, let me give an example. Uh, So this is a typical example. Price comes down, it pushes down. What happens? It closes above this. What happens the next day? It pushes back up. Do you see that? So it happens quite often where when price closes above this. Look at this. Price over here on this particular candle does not close. But guess what? The next day is when it closes. So it closes above, closes below that's liquidity zone. Close below it, and what happens? The next day it pushes back up. See, so we usually after price closes above, you would ideally get a retracement. So you can go back and cross check this, but this is one of the reasons why back testing is so important. Back testing the daily time frame, back testing the monthly time frame, back testing the weekly time frame to understand how price actually moves. All right, so I'm generally bullish. Let's see what we have on the Euro USD. I'll go pretty fast on this one. I like the close that we had here. We had this weekly imbalance that was left here. This could come back to be filled later down the line. I thought price could actually pull all the way up here and touch this and drop, but as you can see, price pulled up, but it was not, the strength of the pullback was not strong enough to actually touch that fair value gap, even though that fair value gap was pretty enticing, which tells me that we are probably looking for sell side liquidity over here. I don't know why this eye is here, so let me take that out. We're looking for sell side liquidity over here. I think we might be having a buy side somewhere there, but so let's see. Yeah, so that's why that eye is there. So that eye should rather be on the daily. Okay, so I'm looking to see price push down, take out the sell side liquidity. In terms of an up move, I don't see much of an up move resting over here. Truth be told, for me personally, this looks like a very bearish move. I have this thing where I draw my Fibonacci, and when I draw this, anything that is below, which, because this looks like a doji, but once the doji is below the 32.8 retracement level, I consider it bearish. If it's reversed like this, and it's above the 32.8 retracement level, I consider it bullish. Right? But in this case, it's below. So my personal expectation is that I see this as a bearish move. So I expect next week to give us even more bearish price action. As you can see here, we have a lot of gap to fill between between this particular level where price is at now and this weekly sell side liquidity. This weekly sell side liquidity would ideally be in proportion to or proportional to this weekly buy side liquidity. All right. So we have something to look out for there. And in my experience, uh, when you're aiming for this, you have to be vigilant about this too, because price could fail the DXY zone and not fill the Euro USD zone and start retracing. So you have to look for the relative one that is the one that has the relative strength index. Which one is faster? Which one is stronger? Which one is weaker? In this case, you are going bearish, so you want to know which of the pairs are weaker, which of the pairs are stronger. All right. On my daily time frame, on my daily time frame, you I have my daily sell side liquidity over here, and on daily you can see that the price is very bearish currently. We are very bearish right now, and price wants to go out. Price has not taken this zone yet. Now, like I said, price might go for this zone. Where does this zone correspond to? This particular zone on Euro USD will, even though that is a liquidity zone on Euro USD, this zone I see it's conforming to uh this. That's a monthly fair value gap on DXY. You see, so you are, whenever I'm trading, I'm looking at all of those things. That is because I trade a 5 minutes. So I have to be very accurate, and I have to be observant of whatever is going on in the market. So I don't trade a lot of pairs. I trade only Euro USD and GBP USD for that reason, because I have to be very accurate with whatever I'm doing. All right. So I have price looking to go here. My suspicion is that if price take this out, it will most likely go for this. So let's see how price plays out generally. So I'm looking at this and this for the takeout, for it to hit this fair value gap zone. Do we have anything on the 4 hour? On the 4 hour, price is just giving us very, very lovely price action generally. So I don't have an issue with price at all on this side of town. Yes, I don't have an issue with it generally. So let's see. What do we have? For me personally, let me look at this again. For me personally, key zones could that we could look at to sell from, because I like to look at the higher time frame PDRAs to sell from. We have a daily 4 hour that is resting right over here, and we have another one resting over here. I don't expect price to go up all the way to that side, but it is a possibility. But I personally don't. Should price begin to do a retracement all the way from Monday and Tuesday, we could see it go all the way up there on the daily. Actually, from I think price might go all the way up here. I'll tell you why. I'm looking at how price is reacting over here. And yes, price, we have this candle that is giving us bullish sentiment. This candle giving us bullish sentiment. And that was how Friday's week. That's how we close on Friday. Now, given the fact that we have rejections here, I'll give you a reference to go and read on this. it's called a rejection block by the inner circle trader, right? But you can understand how, if you understand how rejection blocks work, there's a clear rejection block over here. So we have this rejection block over here. Price rejects off this multiple times. So I'll expect price to go up before it comes down. I expect price to go up before it comes down. So as you can see, as I am refining, I'm seeing certain things that I ideally was not seeing at first. Something like this would make me very, very skeptical for a Monday trade, given the fact that I see a rejection block here and I don't have any news event on Monday. See, so I'm just running you guys to how I am thinking about the chart. I see a rejection block and I don't have any trade on Monday. So does it mean I'm no longer bearish? No, I'm still bearish. I'm still bearish, but I'm saying that price is likely to retrace before it keeps going up, before it keeps going down. Sorry, it's likely to undergo a retracement before it keeps going down. A typical example might be something like this. This is not a very clean example of it, but I'm just trying to show you something. Price comes here, but this is not a very clean example. I wanted to find a clean example. But you can see that price goes and gives a deep retracement before it comes down. During this entire retracement, we are still bearish, mind you. You see, but it comes down eventually. So that's a very similar expectation to which I have. Let me go to the weekly on GBP USD and I'll be ending very shortly. On GBP USD, we can see price was generally in a consolidation. It doesn't seem to know exactly what it wants to do, right? But we have price go down, come up. It hasn't taken this, but it's consolidating over here. It goes down, goes up, still not sure what it wants to do. So it's consolidating. My expectations for price to fill that fair value gap. For the GBP USD, price could fill that fair value gap and keep going up, but I doubt it's going to. Why? Because of these long wick candles. You can see, what do you see here? Price came up, tried to go up, was pushed down. Came up, tried to go above the previous one and was pushed down. Price came up, tried to go above the last two previous ones. And what happened? We had a rejection right in this zone. Do you see that? Can you see it? We had a rejection right in the zone. So that's giving me some very bearish sentiments for GBP USD, which I'm confident about because it's in confluence with my USD sentiment and my DXY sentiment. Coming over here into this level, I'll be expecting price to give us a little bit of a pullback and then to come and fill this fair value gap. So this fair value gap is my expectation. If price is very bearish, I expect to fill this fair value gap and tap into this fair value gap. Why? Because these two fair value gaps are very close to each other. All right. So that's my expectation for that on the weekly, on the daily, sorry. So on the weekly, on the 4 hour, sorry. We have price camera push down. I'm looking for zones that I could probably trade off. All right, I have this outlined here. Another zone I'd definitely like to see price enter and see what price does. There's another little one over here. I I don't think price will, but I never know. Price could just enter that side and take out everything from there. But that's generally my expectation. So I'm generally very bearish. As you can see, I'm generally very bearish on GU and EU. And I'm bullish on DXY. Let's see how the market goes. Enjoy your week and let's kill the market.